In this episode tonight, coming up, it's more chat about football.
Hello! And welcome to Corby Town TV.
On the YouTube channel, here you go. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the notification button so you are always aware that we are here every Monday. When Michael posts this out on the socials, you can tune in and watch this. And if you're clever, you can zoom it or cast it to your big telly so it's like real TV.
A very big telly, yes.
Huge telly.
Yep. Massive.
Massive. Yeah. Like the one that I've got in the toilet. I've got a huge TV in the toilet. I wouldn't want to miss a programme.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So then, what do we know for today then?
Well, that was a good question. First team played again, didn't they?
They
Managed
did.
to get a game on.
That was here.
That was here.
Last weekend, 3-0 victory against a team that had never been here before, Walsall Wood.
Walsall Wood.
Though it looked, the scoreline looked particularly good, 3 goals, no goals against. That Setch wasn't particularly happy with the first period of the game.
Nope.
But, could have been 3 or 4, and I think that's kind of what he's looked at. It could have been 4-0 up at half-time. Tremendous save by Tom Finch towards the end of the half, which kept the scoreline as it was at half-time, 2-0. Second half came out, and by the hour mark, it was 3-0, 3 different goal scorers. And, it was an interesting game of football, and I think everybody went away quite happy with that result.
Yep, I think so. First goal was a bit of a comedy, wasn't it?
Oh,
Through the goalie's legs.
Yeah, it was 2 goals that were disastrous for their defence, really, wasn't it? The first goal, as you say, a mix-up between the defender and the keeper, and the ball rolls out, and TTM, Terence Trent Matthews, what's his name?
Tristan
Thompson Matthews, who also was man of the match in the non-league paper on Sunday morning. I know that. I wrote it. And he was man of the match, but he was an easy tap-in for him. The second goal, well, that was a bit different. That was from the edge of the box, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah.
And then the third goal, another calamitous error by the away team, allowing a cross come right from the touchline. And it was an easy tap-in for Jordan O'Brien.
So,
good afternoon's football. 516, 519, whatever, that we're here. And that's quite good to have, because it's been, I think every game this season on a Saturday has been over 500.
I think it has.
Yeah, I think so.
I think there's only one game where it, was it? Anstey, where there was 390.
That was on a league game, was it? It was...
No, it was a league game.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, we drew one each here, didn't we? It was a Wednesday night.
Yes, that's what I said Saturday. I thought, it's bound to be lower on Saturday, the Sunday on a Wednesday. But no, and we're all looking forward to the trip. You mentioned Anstey. Trip to Anstey Nomads on Saturday.
Which, the way the weather's looking, is probably not going to happen.
Every Thursday we come up here and it's chucking it down. Cats and dogs.
Yeah, our pitch looks more like a swimming pool at the moment.
So it's come down quite heavy in the
this afternoon,
hasn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's like over the border in Leicestershire. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I'm sure that the river won't have risen up the way that the river rose up in the last 3 months ago when they couldn't get a game on. But we'll have to keep an eye on that. But obviously all the news you can catch up on the socials as the game continues. Either use football web pages or Pachiro, or just use the Twitter account for Corby, because that's probably the best place to find any news. Right then, well, we'll come to the end of that, and that was quite clear. There's a full stop there. But I'm going to go, and Michael is going to grab a player.
I'm going to grab a player in wet conditions. And hopefully it won't mess their hair up. I'm not sure who I'm going to get, but what I would like you to do is to look out on Twitter for the little piece of the training. That will come out sooner rather than later. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled because you don't know who I'm going to get yet. Training night again here, somewhere in Corby, and it's raining.
Somewhere.
There's nothing unusual about that. And here I've got Mr. Jordan O'Brien.
Yes, you're right. Lodge Park, you're not from Corby? Somewhere in
We
Corby.
keep that as a secret
right,
in
sorry,
case
sorry.
hordes of people come up and want your autograph.
True, yeah.
Yeah, Jordan, how do you think it's been going for you this season so far?
Struggled with consistency, I'd say, main thing. Obviously, I had quite a lot of little niggles and injuries and not being able to get like a good run of games, but yeah, it's not been ideal. I mean, obviously you always hope for better, even the team performance. It's just not been up to what we wanted it to be. But we'll keep going. Almost at the end. 6 games to go. Try and win them all. That's
You
the main
can't do any
thing.
more than that, can you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully get up to 7th or something. Hopefully stay top flight. What is it? Top half of the table.
Top half of the table. Is that?
Yeah.
I guess that's got to be. Is that the best we can hope for? Really, isn't it now?
Yeah, I believe
Where
it
we are
is.
now, yeah.
From when I last looked at it, it's like a miracle. Yeah. If somehow about 5 teams drop all their points and we win every game, yeah,
We won the lottery, have we?
yeah, basically,
We won the lottery. I guess the positive thing coming up, where you mentioned there about, finishing as high as possible. Next few games coming up, apart from Anstey, is against Sutton Coldfield and Cowser, which are directly above us, really, aren't they? So
yeah. The Banjo Boys, Sutton Coldfield, the ones with the little.
Oh yeah. Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Is that
looking
what you
forward to
call them?
that.
Is it?
What is it they play? You know what I'm talking about? The Mexican little.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're there every single game, aren't
Yeah. Then I reckon Anstey's a massive game because if they win, they go top, don't they? I'm pretty sure. Or
they?
they.
They're 4 points off it now because they only drew against Corn the other night.
Yeah, they did. And have they not got a game in hand on someone else?
No.
Right.
They have in Spalding, not in Harborough.
That'll be interesting. At least there's some excitement in the league somewhere.
So,
Sadly, not in 11th or 10th, but
I
yeah.
don't know. It's a bit of a scrap at the bottom as well, isn't it?
Yeah, his Russian and Diamonds might make it as well.
Yeah. Well, we hope so.
Great escape.
Yeah. So, is there anything you want to say to the supporters out there?
No, just honestly, sometimes I've even surprised how many have turned up, I must admit. Like, it's unreal, to be fair, how many people turn up on a Saturday, especially how bad we've been at home. Like, there's been some rotten performances and they turn out every week. Obviously, I think they have good crack anyway, but watching the football a good bit of football would help, wouldn't it? But
all we can do is try now, isn't it?
exactly. Hopefully, we at least give some entertainment.
3 home games left.
Yeah.
Let's try and get as many points out of them.
Who's that? Cambridge,
Cowser and Gresley.
Yeah, last
game of
Gresley?
the season. So
Yeah, it is,
we're
yeah.
going to have an input at the top and the bottom of the table.
There you go. Hopefully, we can cause an upset of both.
Well, there we go. All right, Jordan, thank you very much. You better go and have a run around.
Bye.
That was great.
That was wonderful.
So,
And the people I spoke to were really good.
energetic but wet.
Very wet.
So that's great. I hope you enjoyed Michael talking to the players. I know it is the end of the season, and some of them, I'd like to think, are not thinking of the beach already.
No, that's right. But it's something that we should have done ages ago, but it's all about timing and stuff like that. But bringing the players closer to you. Who's that guy? Where did he come from? You know?
Indeed.
This will bring them closer to you, hopefully.
And it's only taken us nearly a whole year's worth of episodes. But hey, we're doing it for you. This is for you, the Corby Town fan. The youth team.
Well, I mean, just first to say, before we move on to the youth team and other teams, our next away game will be away to Sutton Coldfield.
After the weekend that we have
Yeah.
Because you'll put this out on the Monday night and we'll have just played Cambridge City here at Steel Park.
Possibly.
I've never known a year like it for rain.
Nope.
Not through a football season. It's an absolute nightmare trying to get games on. And I wouldn't mind, but we've got a really, really good pitch with really, really good drainage. and it's not been coping particularly well. Now, I don't think it's the drains problem. I think it's mainly the amount of rain falling from the sky. It's just shocking. But we all know that bloke Donald Trump, who knows everything, says there's no such thing as global warming, and so there we'll just follow him, shouldn't we?
Yes.
No,
he's a wonderful man.
Is he? He's also an absolute tube. Now, any American fans watching this, don't vote Trump. Or anybody else, actually, because they're both rubbish. Oh, there you go. That's impartiality out of the way, isn't it? That's quite good. I've covered it by doing that.
Yeah, you feel better now, don't you?
Oh, no, not really. So, yes, youth team. Great game on Monday night.
Yes, just going back really, because when we podcast the other last Thursday, we did it. They had a game because games were called off. They had a bit of a weird one, really. They played Rothwell in the league on Thursday night, and they played them again on the Monday in the league.
And both of those games?
And both of those games on the Thursday night, they won 5-0 at Rothwell. Apparently, talking to Tiff, it was a bubbly pitch. They were 1-0 up at half time, and then they scored 4 in the second half. And I can't remember which player it was, and I'm sure he put me right, but he scored a hat-trick of headers.
Excellent. Good work.
And then on Monday night, they played Corinthians again. They won 4-1. First half, it could have been 6 or 7. Shea Brown scored, Rio Wills scored, Kyle Hutchison got one from the penalty spot, and Shea Brown, I think they were the scorers.
And you were there, you filmed it.
I have filmed it, yes. That's already been sent off to Tiff, and you would have seen Logan Hughes, that was the other scorer, and you'd have seen that on social media.
Yes, because
where he picks the ball up on the halfway line, runs past 4 players, and puts it into the top corner.
He did a very
superb
good goal.
goal. Yeah. Superb goal.
Lots of people have seen that. Lots of pundits have seen that. And lots of people have said that's a really good goal, well taken. So,
yes.
You know, if you're not coming up and watching the youth team, especially at this pointy end of the season, it's worth getting up here because they're still unbeaten in the league.
Yeah, in the last 3 games, they have scored...
I'm doing the math. Go on, then.
12, 5 and 4.
So, yeah, that's a lot of goals. It's 12, 5 and 4.
Yeah, is that...
21.
21.
21. Yeah.
My age.
Yeah.
And they've only conceded 1. They've moved back to the top of the table. Other big news on Monday night is that Kettering turned over Stamford. That's how Corby have gone back to the top. So, yes, that's where we are at the moment. They've got games coming up. The next game, which I mentioned on last week's podcast, is away at Raunds, which is Thursday, the 4th of April.
Right. So there you go. If you're watching this on Monday night, that's this coming Thursday. If you're not watching it on Monday night, and before Thursday, it's this coming Thursday. If you're watching this podcast after next Thursday, you missed it.
Yeah, and at the moment, their top scorers are Shea with 15. Tanaka's got 15, and bear in mind, he mostly comes off the bench to score. And I think Rio Wills has got 10. And then Adelaide's got 8, and they're the top scorers at the moment.
But they're playing a lot of football, aren't they? Because you've got several of them have been on the bench for Corby Town.
Yep.
You've got several are out in the step below.
Yep.
Or 2 steps below.
So just one. They're only playing 1 step below, Chuck.
So they're playing football. They're learning the game. They're still young lads, and I'm sure that by the end of the season they'll be playing in the Corby Town first team, if not regularly, but coming off the bench to make some sort of change.
And it was Carl's birthday last week. I'm not sure. He must be 17 now.
He was 17.
He just turned 17.
So he didn't let anybody know. And then his mum came up and told somebody, I think it was Macca, and said, don't tell anybody it's Carl's birthday. So, of course, Macca tells Edo, and Edo tells the world.
The world.
The world. So even got a shout out from the PA system via myself. So I hope he enjoyed the day. That's all I can say. And he probably had a nice glass of pop.
It was nice to get on the pitch for him, wasn't it?
Nice glass of pop.
Nice.
He is only 17.
Yep,
So,
only 17.
17. Not anyway. Here, leave that.
Hey, you see that band of yours coming to play the clubhouse? I don't know what you call it anymore. Sham 69.
They are coming to the clubhouse.
It's the original lineup.
It is the original lineup, and it's a very expensive ticket, but it is the original lineup, and they're also playing some later dates at bigger festivals as well. But tickets online. The clubhouse naming still hasn't happened, but the clubhouse is looking better than it did a couple of months back. So
I thought the tickets price were pretty good.
For what it is, yeah. I mean, you'd be paying that if you were going to play in a major suburban town, a bigger town than Corby. But I think it's quite a boon that you've got them here. So all those hits from Sham 69, like Angels with Dirty Faces, If the Kids Are United, Sham, what's the word? Her Sham Boys. And,
yes.
And of course, the other classic, Aria Perry, come on. We're going down the pub. That's one.
Yeah. I bet you play that on your
I haven't played that yet.
player all the time on his way to the pub.
Yeah, I'm often on the way to the pub, and I will be playing that probably on the radio next week. For to go. Women though, ladies.
Yeah.
I don't think they played, did they? Because it was a no pitch. It was
No, they played last weekend, and unfortunately, it was their first defeat.
I did see this. It was against the top team, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was against Harpole, a team that were in the lower third of the table, I believe. Overall, I think I haven't spoken to Phil, but I'm sure it would be disappointing that they've, gone to a 2-1 defeat, I think it was. Hey, but at the end of the day, you can't win every single game.
No, you can't. But he's done a tremendous turnaround.
Absolutely, and the ladies that are in the team should, not lose heart. They've come an awful long way, and just keep the spirit up. And I'm sure Phil will do that. They are still in the promotion place by 2 points. It's just got a little bit tighter now. Their next game is up here on the 7th of April, which is a Sunday. And it is against a top team, which is Crick Athletic.
There you go.
It's a 2:00 kickoff. The T-bar will be open. Let's hope we get some football.
So obviously, Phil's got a bit of a job in his hand. He's trying to turn them round. But obviously, you want to remember that defeat and think, I don't want to feel like that again. I want to remember the feeling of winning. And that's the motivation of that, to get it on, get them going, and get them back on the right track. You can only start runs of victories by starting a run of victories.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's done now, isn't it? You've got to. There's no better game to come back to than playing Crick, the top team. For me, there is no better way. The
motivation's there to turn.
Yeah, absolutely. One, you've got to try and right the wrongs if you feel there was any, and two, you're playing the top team, and if you can't raise your game for that, then and I'm sure he'll get them up for it.
Oh yes. So there's lots of football here, and you've been talking to the players, of course. They won't be training tonight, will they? Or are they back on artificial
They're
grass?
training tonight, and that's the plan. We're looking at the weather. They're up at a different place, which I'm not going to mention that location. Every time I tell you that, Chuck tells you where it is.
I haven't got a clue, unless they've changed it. Have they moved it?
No.
All right, okay. Well, I don't think there's many autograph hunters going to go out in the rain to get a Corby Town autograph, is there? And I don't think there'll be many scouts out tonight to try and find out what Corby's tactics are.
No, that's right. They're training on the Astro, and they'll be doing that, and it's absolutely chucking it down. So I'm going to be running around to try and get some stuff.
But you did speak, and I had quite a conversation with Greg Mills last week. If you haven't seen that, check out the last podcast. It was interesting to hear what he was saying.
Yes, it was. Greg was pretty open about his injuries. He spoke about what he's done since he left Corby. And if you've seen our new series that I've put up, now I've called it Men of Steel because everyone calls it In Training or whatever. I didn't want to go down that road, but whether I'll keep that name, I don't know. I'll chat to Chuck in a minute and we'll see if there's a better name we could come up. And the idea is to join them at training and chat to some of the players and just get an insight of what it's like in between matches.
Because obviously they're the ones that are we're here to watch them and see what they're doing on the pitch. And I'm sure that Gary Setchell takes on board the information and the comments that his players make about how they feel about what was happening on the pitch. So you can only learn from it. I'm sure that Gary isn't going to take it a full verse and chapter, but he must understand that, if the players on the pitch and things aren't happening because players aren't doing what they should be doing in the middle of the park, the ball isn't going out the flanks, the ball isn't being dropped in front of the player, it has to be looked at. And it's a bit late in the season for that. We ain't got that many games left, have we? But I think if we can go on a run now and get a couple of victories under our belt, if we finished, I don't know, top 8, somewhere around there, because we leapfrogged Walsall Wood last weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, I think to be honest, they're paying the price of so many games in hand. They lost again in midweek. They lost to Harborough. If you haven't seen the photographs, they were playing on the pitch like it is out there. I think they started the game and the deluge got so much. It was as bad as when we went there, where the pitch was getting more and more frozen, but the referee was determined to play the game. And it seemed like they did a similar thing to the Harborough game, where it got more and more boggy. You could see the pictures and they were running around in puddles, and it just seemed like, I'm going to play this game no matter what.
Well, they're going to have to. They've got games building up. We mentioned last week that they had more games to play than any other team in the league. So they've got catch-ups. There's other teams with catch-ups. Anstey are going to be they're going to be hoping that this game's on at the weekend, of course, because we're talking about the weather. I think that's paramount for them. They get the game on so that they don't have a similar problem with trying to fit games in on a Thursday night or whatever. Maybe played 3 games a week, because it could come to that. But at Corby we've played our games. We've got the rest of the season. And when's the season finish? April 24th or something?
27th.
Wow. So, it's not long left. We're into April on Monday. So a couple of last days of March, and that's it. We're into the April showers, which seem to have come early.
The April showers.
Started in January.
Yeah, I thought it started before that, Chuck.
I tell you, it's one of my favourite songs from Bambi,
What's that?
Drip, drip, drop, little April showers. That one.
If there's anyone out there who would like to hire Chuck as a wedding singer, please feel free to leave your details.
Yeah.
And Chuck will respond in kind.
I'm a full round entertainer. I can do poetry and do a bit of singing. I can dance a bit. No, I can't really. I could do that MCing thing. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for your bride and groom.
Must I say, how can you come on to a Corby Town podcast and wear a hat that is yellow?
It's just yellow, isn't it?
Well, it's mustard, isn't it?
Well, I don't know.
Is it mustard?
It's yellow, isn't it? It's yellowish.
Do you like mustard?
It's because why have I got a yellow hat? I can't wear red. I'm running out of other colours.
You went to the Harborough Club shop?
No, this says Pull and Bear on it, actually. Not Haymarket out of town. Pull and Bear. Yeah. I'm just trying to think where I bought it. I think I bought it in Luxembourg.
Did you really?
Yeah, I think so. It's just the white and blue hat didn't work last week because it kind of disappeared. It looked like I was just wearing a kind of thing, a kind of band. So. But yeah, you're looking.
I am looking at it because I could
at the sound equipment.
Yeah. I think I've got a little buzz somewhere. I'm buzzing.
There's bees in here.
I don't want buzz.
But
That's not good.
As of today, I was at, and we'll talk about it briefly, Bev Ironmonger's funeral.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
very nice, very nice. And his granddaughter got up and did a speech, and it was heartfelt, and it was a little tear-jerky, and lots of ex-footballers there, as you would expect, some of which played for Corby. I know that Elwyn Roberts was there.
Remember Elwyn?
Yeah, and David Gill, even going further back.
All right.
Gilly. And who else was there? Eddie McGoldrick, ex-manager, of course.
Okay.
He was there. Sean Diver was there. Of course, that was one of the best chants that's ever come out of the back of the stand at Corby. Shouting about Sean Diver.
Sean Diver.
They never used his full name, though, not his first name anyway. We can't use that language here on Corby Town TV. But he was there. Neil Burns was there, going back to the 70s, Neil. And Neil was involved in the backroom staff as well, or more the training with the youth team stuff. So, yeah, lots of ex-footballers there. Great to see them. Catch up. And, very sad day for anybody who's, friends and family of Bev. But, I think he's relaxed now.
They gave him a good send-off, and that's fantastic. That's what you want, isn't it? Remembering somebody.
Indeed, yes, and did an awful lot for youth football. I think that was touched upon. Even the Telegraph wrote a nice bit about him in the local press. So the amount of young boys that he's coached and developed and brought through the game, it was huge. So well done, Bev, and obviously lots of people thinking about him today. Yes,
very good indeed. If you want to check out my own site, I now have a Twitter thing, which is at Lawsy Footy under, I can't remember what it is now. No. Chuck knows because I'll put it up on here anyway. And if you want to check out at Lawsy Footy on YouTube and on Facebook, you will see some of my footage I did recently. The Northamptonshire Senior Youth League Sunday Under-18s Cup Final. And I really enjoyed that. They made me feel really, really welcome. And we've got more finals coming up. And hopefully we might be in one of them.
When you said it was your own site, I thought it was the pictures of you in the bath again.
Yeah, there are some of them on there, but they're censored.
All right.
The only thing you see is
bubbles.
No, my top half.
And either that or you playing with your train set. There's nothing
with
wrong with that.
No.
Train sets are cool. Trains are cool. I like trains.
Apart from if you turn on the electric train set when you're in the bath, it doesn't quite work. No. And you get spiky hair.
Yeah. So there you go.
There we go.
Sensible talk here on Corby Town TV. It is. We haven't mentioned it yet, but this will be podcast 51, won't it?
It will be number 51, and yes, me and Chuck were talking, and maybe in the future or not distant future, we're thinking or considering of changing the day of recording on a Monday. I think that was what Chuck was intimating at.
Kind of. And then it gives you the chance. It means that you won't get your podcast on a Monday, but it might mean that you'll get it on a Friday and it'll be up to date and ready for the game on a Saturday. And it makes a little bit more sense timeline-wise. That's a thought because, I know people are saying, oh, it's a bit retro in the fact that you're talking about the game that we've missed.
And we understand that.
So, we're doing it for you. We like the fact that you listen in and join us. So, we'll try and make it as best a tight fit as possible.
Yeah, that's correct. And that all comes down to my time, not necessarily anyone else's, the editing time. If you bear in mind, the first team generally play on a Saturday. And then if the youth team are playing, they play on a Monday, which is not a problem if they're playing here because we just come in a bit early, do the podcast and whatever, So, and then it gives me the rest of the week to do it. So for me, the rest of the week to get it out for a Friday, sometime on a Friday so you can enjoy it, and then whatever. It makes it easier for me at this time.
And sadly, unfortunately, I have that awful song in my head now.
What's that?
The Lion Sleeps Tonight, because I said the word tight fit.
Tight fit. Yes.
The one with that whistle.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
horrible.
He's
Horrible.
desperate to become a wedding singer.
So yeah, where else is going? Well, we don't know what else is happening after the end of the season. Now, I've heard discussions of whether or not there's going to be an end of season presentation. There was last year, wasn't there? Yeah, because Danny Gordon won everything. Do you remember Danny Gordon?
I remember Danny Gordon, yes.
He's still here.
He's still here.
And I think he's probably in the places to also pick up player of the season, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, it's a hard one to work out, isn't it? I'm not sure how I would choose at this moment in time. Maybe you would choose somebody. Who would you pick?
Yeah, and
Put your in the comments.
yeah, who do you think might win that kind of prestigious award? And we're just looking for the supporters player of the year. I think that's probably the best way of doing it. But yeah, hopefully there'll be some sort of presentation night because we are home on the last game of the season. Aren't
Yeah, we play Gresley.
Gresley. So it sets it up nicely for us to do that kind of thing. That would be a sensible thing to do on the 27th of April. So, yeah, and then the week after that is May Bank Holiday, and we all go away and party. May. Do you think it might have stopped raining by May?
Yeah, I hope so.
Gosh.
I hope so. I'll start doing my May time. Well, I'll still be doing football probably to the end of May because the under-18s will still be playing in May. And then there'll be the cup finals, but the cut-off point is the end of May for anything anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're not allowed to play football in June at all. Then I'll be helping out the Nen Sunday League, doing some of their work, which again is all voluntary and everything. So it keeps me going to the end of... So the only month I don't have without football is probably June.
And there will be football in June because the
Euros
are on.
Yep.
And England will be wearing a kit with the wrong flag on it.
Yep.
Which seems to have blown itself up. Well done, Nike, you strange Americans with your wrong flag colours.
Yeah, I think we've got you in the wrong position.
Me?
Yeah, that's all right.
I can live with that.
Yeah, we can get him in.
Yeah, it's looking forward to that. But if they play the way they did in the friendlies, but at the end of the day, it's like Corby Town playing friendlies. They're just friendlies. They're for the manager to look at the players they've got. And 6 or 7 of them weren't even available. So I don't think if you're an England fan, it was too much of a worry. If you're a Scotland fan, seeing the results that have come in there, they've been pretty dire.
Yeah, I don't think it matters either. They did their thing. They qualified. And they were brilliant in qualification. And for them, I don't suppose it will matter too much. They're getting minutes on the pitch. What they want to do is get it right when they're in Germany. And that's the important thing for England as well. Yeah. I'm not bothered about friendlies.
And commiserations to Wales, because it would have been nice to see them go through, but beaten on penalties by Poland.
It's a tough way to lose, isn't it?
So lots of football still to come this year, and we will try and keep you up to date with all the football news coming out of here, Steel Park, every week as we hit the podcast, and you can hit the buttons at home. Now, are you going to go off now and get a couple of interviews in for the end? No?
No.
Oh.
I am, but we're going to do something. Chuck's going to say goodbye.
Right then. Bye.
Don't forget, subscribe, like.
And hit the notification button.
Yep. Check us out on all the other social medias.
Yeah, especially Twitter if you want up to date on games and all the other stuff that's on the Facebook page, especially if you want to buy a brick.
Yes, and that's, yes. So anyways, we will say good night.